One of the most high-profile themes of Governor Noem's administration over the last year has been education reform. For both K through 12 students and college students, Noem has sought out opportunities to drastically shift the way education is delivered in the state. State House reporter Austin Goss takes a look back at some of those changes and joins us now live from Pierre. Austin, good evening.
Good evening, Brian and Andrea. Just yesterday during Governor Noem's State of the State address, she brought forward two more education-related proposals. One that would allow for prayer in schools and another that would ban critical race theory. However, those proposals are just the tip of the iceberg. For the last several months, Noem has proposed bills to block Action Civics, ban critical race theory in any grants tied to it, and delay the social studies standards implementation due to pushbacks from both factions of the left and right.
No curriculum in the state of South Dakota will teach anything that values one person over another based on their race, their sex, and that it won't be used as a divisive tool.
But many of the bills have proven to be divisive. For example, Noem's directive to the Board of Regents to rebrand diversity centers to opportunity centers drew the ire of many college faculty members and students. Reports of references to Native Americans potentially being removed from state education curriculum drew activists to appear for protests. Meanwhile, South Dakota educators feel like they're caught in the middle of a problem that doesn't exist here.
A mixed message. First of all, we want the same thing our parents across the state want. We want an honest and accurate education with the freedom to learn for our students. And I think this kind of sends a mixed message about that.
The issue of education reform has been a popular issue for Republicans to run on. Former presidential candidate Dr. Ben Carson, who has since launched an education advocacy group against critical race theory, showed up to support Noem Tuesday.
Were there some things that were unsavory in our past? Absolutely. Why? Because we're inhabited by human beings, and human beings are not perfect.
Immediately following her State of the State on Tuesday, Noem sent out a fundraising text on the issue, touting Carson's support of her critical race bill. In the Republican-dominated legislature, her bills are likely to face little opposition on their way to passage.
That means that our kids will read the truth. They'll read the Declaration of Independence. They'll read the Constitution. They'll read the Federalist Papers. It's not having an agenda, and it's not trying to sway these individuals to one side or the other. It's knowing the true and honest history of this country and our Native American cultures and allowing them to learn from that and to try to do even better in the future.
I asked the governor Tuesday how she would enforce her critical race theory ban if it were passed into law, and she says that part of the puzzle is she would like to give the State Department of Education more oversight. You can watch the full interview on dakotanewsnow.com. Live in Pierre, Austin Goss, Dakota News Now.
Austin Goss, thank you. A reminder that you can get your weekly wrap-up of news from the State House every Friday. Join me and Austin Goss for This Week in Politics during Dakota News Now at 6:30 on KDLT. We'll be right back here on KSFY.